Is the Switch 2 good? Yes. Is the Switch 2 worth buying right now? That is very dependent on the person. The Switch 2 Direct was during my subathon back in April, and I frankly did not have the energy to do a full dive into the Direct. Had I made a video, it would have basically said, this looks great, but it needs more first-party new titles for launch. Unsurprisingly, that sentiment is basically still there, even having owned the Switch 2 for almost a week now. The console is fantastic, it feels really nice to play, but frankly, it needed a stronger launch lineup. But I want to start with the positives, and the biggest positive is the console feels really good. It feels really comfortable to hold both in docked and in handheld mode. The Switch 2 just feels very premium and smooth. The Switch 2 is quite a bit bigger than the Switch, and the Joy-Con snapping back in, I was kind of worried that it was gonna feel kind of jank, but honestly, it's really satisfying. It has a satisfying sound. Everything so far has been very good about this product. Very satisfying, very fantastic, and I do like it. It's a good console. Every single game I have played on it is running buttery smooth. So far, I've booted up 3 games for the Switch 2, and that is Mario Kart World, the newest Fantasy Life, and Tears of the Kingdom. Mario Kart World's lighting really lets the console's graphical performance shine, I think. Same with the water in that game, it really highlights how much stronger this is than the original Switch. Tears of the Kingdom's upgraded Switch 2 version didn't super graphically blow me away since it's a fairly newer Switch title, but its FPS is like, mwah, chef kiss perfection. I walked into Korok Forest and it stayed at a stable 60 frames per second, which is crazy. And everything so far has just felt really stable and super, super smooth. If you've been paying attention to any reviews, none of that should really be that surprising. It plays its games good. And I think we're finally going to hopefully say goodbye to hot mess launches like Scarlet and Violet. I think the days of complaining about Nintendo console performance might actually just be behind us now, frankly. I'm sure the aunties will still find something to pitch a fit over, though. They always do. That being said, I'm not a Nintendo company shill, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything about this launch has been perfect. As I mentioned before, I do think this launch game lineup is kind of weak, honestly. Mario Kart World is really the big title for the system, and everything else is either third-party or a buffed-up version of a previous title for the previous console. While these things are fine, and I'm very glad that they do exist, I think that it would have been better if they had included maybe 2 more bigger first-party titles with the Switch 2's launch, or at least 1 big single-player title. The Switch 2 doesn't really have a big single-player starting title, and I think that's because they're banking on people going back to older titles and playing them on the new console, and I don't really like that. With a new console's launch, frankly, I just kind of expect there to be new games to check out with the new console. As much as I like revisiting Tears of the Kingdom, I want new experiences. I know more games are around the corner, but I think this launch lineup is pretty disappointing overall. And I kinda hate that, honestly. Now, before you start reminding me about how the Switch 1's Day 1 had 1-2 Switch, Breath of the Wild, and Snipper Clips as its first-party launch titles, and how they were not really big games or simply a better version of a game for the previous console, hold your horses. Put down your pitchforks and torches. Refrain from calling the local Dragon Slayer on me. That is true. The Switch 1 did launch with those first-party titles, and only those for Day 1. But we had a lot of stuff around the corner, and we had a lot more solid guaranteed windows for those games. We had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, ARMS, and quite a bit of third-party titles confirmed for the launch window. While the Switch 2 has DK Bonanza confirmed for next month, Metroid Prime 4 is on its way, Legends ZA is going to be in October, and Kirby Air Riders is confirmed. We really don't have dates for all of these titles, and some of them are technically outside of the launch window timeframe. The Switch 2 just kinda needs a little more something right now, I think. Or if not right now, then soon. And that is why I get people not being hyped about this console. I understand people who are waiting to purchase one. I think that unless you just really like Mario Kart, or you're a Nintendo content creator, or you don't have other consoles to play some of these games on, I don't really know that I can recommend the Switch 2 right now until the library just has more in it. And maybe that's a hot take. I'm not really sure if that's a hot take, but that's definitely how I feel. And make no mistake, Mario Kart World is really, really good. But that's just one game. And yes, this launch lineup is not a surprise. I knew this was coming. I didn't just buy the Switch 2 without looking at the lineup. I'm a Nintendo content creator. I kind of stay on top of things like that. But that doesn't really stem the feeling of overall disappointment I have about this aspect of the launch. Everything else has frankly been fantastic. This console is fantastic. The games I have played on it are fantastic. But, as childish as it sounds, I don't like the idea of waiting to play more amazing games on this console. More new amazing games, specifically. When the Switch 2 gets more new games, it's going to be a fantastic console. But for now, I feel like the launch has been good. But it could have just been a bit better in this particular regard if they had just had maybe, again, 2 more games on launch, one of them being a big single-player game. I just feel like that would have been so much better. But overall, Nintendo Switch 2, pretty good. Pretty heckin' good. Fantastic. Great console. Love it. Love holding it. Love playing it. Love that console. Think it's great. It also doesn't lag, even when you open the eShop, and I think that's fantastic. But that is just one dragon's opinion on all of this. If you got a Switch 2, let me know how you're feeling at the moment about the new console. If you haven't gotten one yet, but you are happy with waiting, let me know what game or announcement you'd want to hear before buying one. Did that last sentence even make any sense? I hope it made sense. Thank you for watching, and please do me a favor and enjoy the rest of your day. No, really, that's it. Just enjoy the rest of your day. And if today has been bad, I recommend banh mi. That's been my newest obsession. Go get some banh mi and pet a cat. I think I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna go get some banh mi and pet a cat. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.